He faces a furnace. In Babylon, during the exile, 3 Hebrew youths refused to bow to a king's idol. You will witness faith tested by empire fire, and a surprising sign from heaven. This is the real story. Shadrach is a young Hebrew man trained in Babylonian service. He is resolute, refusing to merge his identity with the king's cult. His faith is quiet but unyielding, a tension between exile survival and obedience to God. Meshach stands with steady muscles and steady faith. He has learned the court's ways, but refuses compromise. His courage is practical. He knows what exile demands, yet trusts a greater law than the king's decrees. Abednego is outspoken and unafraid. He carries the tradition of his people visibly, and will speak truth when culture demands silence. He becomes the voice that challenges the king's demand. Nebuchadnezzar is the absolute ruler of Babylon. His power is visible in every decree and statute. He demands worship as an instrument of unity and control. His pride will drive the drama that follows. When the scene begins, Nebuchadnezzar erects a colossal golden statue and proclaims a decree that when the music sounds, every man must bow. He intends enforced unity. The statue is not mere art. It is politics woven into worship, a test of loyalty. In that moment, the 3 friends do not bow. Officials report them standing apart. Their refusal is not mere stubbornness. It is obedience to a command older than exile. They worship the one true God. Their choice will be read as treason against the king. As the accusation reaches the king, Nebuchadnezzar's face tightens. He summons Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and calls them by name. The crowd watches. The king frames their disobedience as an attack on his honor and the peace of his realm. When Nebuchadnezzar demands why they disobey, the men answer with measured courage. They declare that their God can deliver them. But even if he does not, they will not serve the king's gods. Their answer shocks the court because it names trust above outcome. Nebuchadnezzar's fury explodes. He orders the furnace heated 7 times hotter than normal and commands the men to be bound and thrown in. The measure is symbolic. 7 often signals completeness. He intends total eradication of dissent. As the crowd recoils, they bind the 3 and cast them into the roaring furnace. The heat is described as so powerful that the soldiers who throw them are themselves consumed by flame. It is a scene meant to erase both bodies and witness. But in that very moment, the king stands and is struck by wonder. He sees 4 men walking unbound in the fire, the 4th like a son of the gods. Their clothing is untouched. This is the turning point, a visible sign that something other than imperial power rules the outcome. Moved by fear and curiosity, Nebuchadnezzar commands the furnace to be opened. He orders the best men to pull the youths out. The king's voice now carries a different note. The spectacle he expected to confirm his power now questions it. When they are brought out, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego step free with no scorch on their bodies or clothes. The onlookers, once eager for spectacle, stand silent. The miracle is not only rescue. It is a vindication of faith that reverses the expected outcome. As a result, Nebuchadnezzar praises the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He issues a decree that no one speak against the God. The king recognizes that divine rescue has authority even over royal coercion, a public reversal of honor. When the fury subsides, word spreads through Babylon. Merchants and mothers speak of what they saw. The story breaks the assumed monopoly of imperial power. For the exiled community, it becomes a rare public vindication and a message that their God acts in history. As the narrative implies, in the furnace the three sing praise. Their song is not naive triumphalism. It is a declaration that even in annihilating heat they trust God. In the ancient world, a song could bind a community's memory and point to divine presence amid suffering. Days pass, and the exiled community receives the news with a mix of relief and fear. For them, the event is theology made public. God preserves his servants even under foreign law. It reframes identity in exile from private conviction to communal testimony. When evening comes, Nebuchadnezzar confesses that no other God can rescue like this. His royal theology shifts not merely out of fear, but because public reality contradicts his assumptions. The empire must now reckon with a God who acts despite human borders. Weeks later, the story circulates beyond the palace and becomes part of the exile's memory. It is retold as proof that faith under pressure is not private sentiment, but a public witness. The miracle functions as a sign that God is present with those who refuse compromise. When morning comes, the story prompts a theological question. Do we obey because rescue is certain, or because obedience itself is the witness? The three model the latter. Their faith is courageous not because it guarantees survival, but because it honors God even when death seems imminent. Since this takes place during exile, cultural identity is at stake. Obeying the king's cult would mean assimilating into Babylonian religion. The three's refusal preserves communal memory and signals that worship is more than ritual compliance. It is the foundation of identity under pressure. Theologically, this miracle signals that God accompanies his people in suffering, and that divine presence can override human violence. It is not an abstract promise. It is a concrete intervention that legitimizes resistance to idolatry and gives hope to the powerless. When the story ends, Daniel 3 teach that faithful witness matters more than guaranteed deliverance. Daniel chapter 3 wants us to know that God walks with the faithful in crisis and vindicates holy allegiance publicly. If this story moved you, like the video, subscribe to the channel and tap the bell so you do not miss the next one.